weep, grana, weepity bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel we're going to be checking a look at a figure that I have been waiting for a while. Came out in the States, feels like time ago. In the UK, as always, we have to wait and wait and wait for it to take that slow boat over here. But finally, I have the Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Origin Bumblebee. So let's start off, as we always do, by checking a look at the packaging. And the packaging here is a real nice piece of packaging. Hasbro obviously moving away from the PVC and the plastic bits that they want to use. Got little ropes inside this instead of the usual kind of PVC ties. No PVC window, so you could have touched the little figure inside just like that. And it's an awesome looking box, very bright, very yellow. Numerous variations on the Bumblebee figure here, even the little Marvel Comics, definitely one of my favorite takes on Bumblebee there. And then also we have Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Transformers, beautiful yellow box there, one of my favorite colors, and Origin Bumblebee. On the side we get Bumblebee, authentic Transformers. On the top we get Takara Tomy Generations, and then this kind of half black and yellow Autobot base. And then on the bottom we get the lion, and then at the back we get Don't Eat Your Children because they have small parts. And then at the top we get the product information. Changes, people. Changes were definitely made to this figure during the production. I always bring this up, and we'll come to them as we go through the figure, but there are a multitude of changes when it comes to this figure, unfortunately. Then we also get the Transformers War for Cybertron. I did not realize that Buzzworthy line was actually part of the War for Cybertron line. I thought it was closer to Cyberverse. You learn something new every single figure. As always, we get the destructions. So the destructions for this one are orange. They're not yellow. They're orange. Not sure why, but they're very nice. And I have to say, they're pretty cool. Pretty good. One part that's a bit tricky, and I have to say the transformation on this is a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quite a basic transformation, and it's not. Very interesting. Alright, first we check the box, then we check the bot inside. And we'll start off by checking a look at the alt mode here. And this is the reason that I own this figure. This is fan-dabby-dozy. This is an absolutely awesome looking version of the Cybertronian take on Bumblebee that we saw in the very first issue of Transformers. This is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It does nothing. It sits there on my shelf and will look like this. I can't say much more other than I absolutely love it. It looks great. A few issues if I had to be super critical. The black that's underneath really does shine through here and makes the colours very different. I don't know how well you can pick it up with my lighting that I have here, but this yellow here is very different to this yellow. That looks very different to this yellow. So there's like 3 different shades of yellow going on here and here. And similar to the way they did the Sunstreaker. The reason I didn't pick up Sunstreaker, it does kind of let it down a little bit. From the front, it looks cool. It looks like one color. From the top, you can tell there's a real difference with all the yellows that they're using. I really wish that Hasbro would kind of sort this out. I know that's because this is a softer plastic, this is a harder plastic, but yeah. That's the one of the slight issues that I have with this. The blue visor on the front is great. And then we also have the Autobot logo on the front. If we check a look at this one versus the packaging. So if we check a look at what we got versus what we were promised, and we can see it's fairly close. in this mode. It's not too bad. The only thing I would say, there's a slight variation here. This was a lighter blue. This is a darker blue. Difficult to say. That looks more G1. This is still very nice though. So at least it was translucent and it wasn't then painted on or something like that, which they have done in the past. I'm really glad they kept it translucent. The only other thing I would say is that the Autobot logo here is a much better print. And if you look at the gaps and the way that it looks on the front of Bumblebee there, it looks like a more beautiful print. On the front of this one, it's a little closer. So I don't know why they changed the size of that. Maybe the size of the whole thing changed. They did originally think that the whole thing was going to be a lot bigger, then they went smaller. That really does kind of annoy me a little bit because that looks absolutely gorgeous. That one doesn't. But overall, you know what? As things go, I am happy with the way that this looks. So this thing has a lot of accessories as well. First of all, it has a little gun. Yep, this little black piece of plastic. And it has a little backpack. Now obviously these are mainly for the bot mode here, but we can also attach them in this mode. So we can attach it this way to give it some kind of guns, and we can also attach this here. So everything that it kind of comes with weapon wise, it goes there, and then you can also move it around and you can have it more like jets on the back. That is ugly as anything, and I won't be using that. With these though, and this is where there's some real difference, we can see on here that this and this was supposed to be silver, and what we got is black. Who knows why they changed this, but Hasbro do seem to be changing silver things a lot at the moment. I don't know if the pandemic has caused them to go a little cheaper on the way that things are, but on this one, I do think that that is one of the worst things about this product. The fact that this and this are not silver the way that they should be, especially when he's in his bot mode and puts that backpack on, because we all know Bumblebee's backpack is what color? Silver. Because this dude is, well, War for Cybertron line apparently, you do get those 3 ports that I've just shown you, which means you can add in other accessories as well. And I have to say, as always, I love the Jetfire cannons. And if you add the Jetfire cannons on, yes, I think it looks like a Cylon ship, right? Do you remember Cylons from the original Battlestar Galactica? Really reminds me of one of their ships, and I think that's awesome. Carries on the kind of shape of it and weaponizes it up. Fan-dabby-dozy. Alright, time for the comparison then. And to compare first with New Age take on Bumblebee, we can see that he's a lot bigger than the New Age take on Bumblebee. And then checking a look at another version of Bumblebee here from my collection, we can see he's a lot bigger than the Hot Soldiers take as well. And then finally we can bring in Cliffjumper. I don't actually own the Bumblebee from the War for Cybertron line, but yeah, he's about a similar height, similar length, sorry, so probably when they're in the bot modes they'll be a similar height as well. Transformation time then, and as I said, it's a little bit more involved than I thought it was going to be. First thing we're going to do is just loosen all this up and then kind of unpeg this back section here, because that will then loosen everything up all around here. Yeah, and then unpeg this section and unpeg this section, and again everything should kind of be loosened up then. Once everything's loosened up, we're going to kind of concertina this section out here, so you should have something that looks a little bit like that, and then you can kind of forget about that. And then this whole section here now will be able to rotate round. Now look at the way that the leg is here and the way that I've had to manipulate the leg, because this is probably the most complicated section. So this, you can see, goes in like that. So to bring the leg round to where it needs to be, you have to bring it down, and then you've got everything here that you need to play with to be able to unhook everything else. So you need to unbuckle this, fold this in, turn the foot around like this, and then bring this section in on itself, and then you kind of got the leg, and then this goes around. See, so it's kind of a little bit complicated the way that it goes round, and then everything just kind of sits around there. So we'll do it again onto the side. First of all, manipulate that around, and again, so you brought it all the way around. Move this out of the way. Unbuckle this section, bring it around, fold it up. You can then manipulate the foot down the way that it should be, and then bring this whole section around back on itself. So the legs are definitely the most complicated piece on this. I actually quite like the way that the legs transform. It was a little bit of a challenge. The destructions don't help too much because they're a bit simplified, but we'll get there. Bring it round, bring it round. This section then can come kind of up, back on itself to collapse that in. Arms out, swivel them hips. Way to swivel your hips. And then we bring the back section here. This kind of clips in. It's a little bit funny, and then you can bring it in, but fold it back and down. There we go. So a lot of collapsing, a lot of folding, bringing out the and then bringing out the hand here as well, and then we have Bumblebee. Alright, so now we have him fully transformed into his bot mode, and let's check a look at this take on Bumblebee. And yeah, he's Kibble City, right? I mean, he has to have a lot hanging off the side of this dude. It's not a clean figure by any stretch of the imagination. That is the first thing I thought when I looked at this is, yeah, they didn't hide the transformation too well. I don't care. The transformation is what I bought it for, so yeah, I guess we'll let some things pass. Looking at the face sculpt here, it's a nice enough Bumblebee face sculpt. He has had his head kind of stretched a little bit. It's a bit wide, but it's nice enough. It's got those baby blues, and it's also got a really nice silver face going on here. And we've got that nice translucent blue, that kind of G1 blue here at the front, and of course that Autobot logo from the front. The silver bits from the front of the hovercraft ship type thing that he is at the beginning kind of carry through here as well. And then we also get some really nice blacks, yellows here as well. But again, bit of a mismatch on the yellows as we go through. The yellow here doesn't match the yellow here, and yeah, it's just a little bit of a mess. Quite a big backpack on this dude as well. Doesn't really make it too much of a challenge with like balance, because it's quite thin, but for a Bumblebee you expect that kind of rounded backpack, and this is just kind of a big square one. And the fact that it's big and square hurts my eyes when I look at him because of this kind of almost hood kind of cloak type affair that he has going on. Yeah. Articulation then, as you can imagine, is hampered by this quite significantly. You will get a whatever degree that is of rotation, and then round to the back, down to here before you hit the backpack. You'll also get a 90 degree, just over 90 degree bend at the elbow. You'll get a full 360 on the top of the arm as well, and the hands go up and down. The head is on a bit of a head wobbler, so that's pretty cool, and he'll do a full 360 as well. You'll get some pretty good swivel here, but again, the backpack just gets in the way a little bit when you're doing that swivel as well, so you'll only go so far before you start pushing that backpack out. As you can see, that backpack is now moving, so yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. One thing I will say on this figure, The joints are very, very stiff. He will hold whatever poses he can hold. He will hold them however long you want. They are very, very stiff, which is great. I hate loose joints, so that's very good. Legs are articulated as anything, mainly because of the transformation. So you'll get that front, you'll get that back again hampered a little bit by that backpack. You'll get some thigh swivel, you'll get some leg here as well, and then also you'll get a lot toe articulation here. Move it all the way to there if you really want, but you'll get a Lara toe articulation, foot articulation. So articulation, it's not bad. He's pretty poseable if you can get past anything from the backpack. But yeah, this ain't the mode I'm going to be using. Obviously, then we're going to come on to the accessories, and we can just show how these look in this mode. So the gun will attach, I'm sure, to his hand. It will. Went in there. So yeah, he's got a nice enough little gun, little zapper, and then he'll also get this nice backpack that will go on the back there. So yeah, away he goes. The backpack itself is nice enough. Again, I wish it was silver. Unfortunately, Hasbro had other ideas. So the other accessories that it comes with are the Energon conductors. So it comes with Energon conductors, 4 of them, that unfortunately I don't believe go in his hands. So very similar to the way that he does in the cartoon. I guess the only way for Bumblebee himself to hold the conductors will be by pushing them all out on the floor, I guess. Nope. Nope. Go on. Can we do it? Get the last one on. Yes! So that's the only way he can kind of hold these conductors that I've seen. I guess it's G1 accurate. So the only other thing about the Energon conductors, or the Energon conductors, is color change. Originally, they were planned to be yellow. In this case, they're orange. Alright. Okay, so time for the comparison. And again, let's bring out New Age's Herbie. And we can see the real size difference there between the New Age take and the Bumblebee take. Well, I wonder if New Age will ever do a take where they convert something this size into the version of this. That would be super impressive. I'd love that. Hot Soldiers. Hot Soldiers take on Goldbug, not Bumblebee. I apologize. Then he's about the same size. He's a very, very, very similar size. And then finally, we bring out Cliffy Jumper, and yeah, virtually identical in height, scope, scale, but he's got a thinner head, he's got the stretched out head. So overall, would I make a final recommendation to pick this dude up? It's quite simple. Alt mode, yes. Bot mode, no. If you are buying this for the alt mode, like myself, you will be super happy. It's a super simple, does very little, looks great on your shelf. If you're buying it for the bot mode, if you like what you've seen here, I'm happy for you. For me, it's not the Bumblebee I'm looking for. If it had hidden the transformation a little better, then yeah, I'd have been all over it, but no. No. But I didn't buy it for the bot mode. I bought it for the alt mode. So let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!